Yo, wake up. What's up, bro? In today's video, I'm going to tell you about the one skill that has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars and that has allowed me to travel the world creating the kind of lifestyle that I want without my money being attached to my location, with complete freedom to go where I want, do what I please, and still make money at the same time. This is not some kind of get-rich-quick scheme. This is not a quickly make money online with no effort. You're going to have to put in work to do this. But if you can learn this skill, it's going to give you absolute maximum freedom, but you have to be willing to do the work. This skill has changed my life and has helped me build the exact life that I want and have the exact kind of results in life that I want, to be able to go and come as I please and make money literally from anywhere. If you want to attain this as well and make hundreds of thousands of dollars and make real money, and I mean real money, then this is going to be the video for you. I'm going to explain to you how you can do this, how you can break out of the haze, and you can actually start to make money on your own terms as a man, live where you want, be completely location independent, and get to a consistent 8 to 10 to 15K per month repeatedly on your own terms. Okay, let's go ahead and crack into the training. This is going to be a good one. Let's roll. Boom. We're here making 100K online by getting good at one thing only, because truthfully, my friend, that is all you need. You just need to get good at one thing, something that I got good at, something that you need to get good at, and that's going to make you 100K online. Because if you want that life of freedom, if you want to be able to travel where you want, go where you want, date who you want, wherever you want, and have the freedom to create the life you want outside of the haze, outside of the clouds, outside of the confusion and the bullshit that's thrown at you by society. If you want to be outside of that, then you need to get good at one thing and ultimately achieve real freedom. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That's what we're going to move towards. That's what I'm going to get you to do here. Now, the first thing you have to understand, the place we have to start at, is money equals freedom. Money is going to give you freedom. That's ultimately important because money allows you to do a couple of things. There's three big things that having money lets you do. Some people say they feel free spiritually, free mentally. All of that is good. Sure. But I'm guessing you didn't come upon this video because you wanted a spiritual coach. I'm guessing you didn't come here because you wanted to talk about fantasies and clouds and unicorns and things like that. And we're here in the real world. We're here grounded in the real world as men. So what you want to do is ultimately achieve freedom, and that comes through money. One of the things money does for you is it allows you to acquire skills. This is one of my favorite parts of having money, is I can buy my way into skills. If I want to learn how to be better at dating, which was the first thing I actually taught men how to do. This is how I made my first money. I learned dating by investing money into learning dating. If you want to learn how to get fit and get strong, as I do, if you want to learn boxing, if you want to learn fighting, you can see back there, I got my gloves ready. You can purchase skills like a video game. You can purchase skill acquisition by working with mentors that are going to work with you over a specific period of time to get you the skill. Skills give you leverage. That's important. You need the skill in order to get the leverage in life. So if you can buy the skill and the skill will give you leverage, then you'll get to the freedom. That's how it is with money. I've bought skills that have taught me how to make money. I've invested in mentors and coaches that have taught me how to make more money. And thus, me having the skill to make more money has given me more leverage to charge more in my businesses, to negotiate better packages and better contracts with companies that I work with. So if you can acquire skills, you'll get leverage. You also can use money to life max, which means engage in activities, behaviors, and lifestyle activities that are going to increase the quality of your lifestyle. This could be something like dating, just going to better places when you go on dates, or spending time in environments where there's going to be higher quality girls. Life maxing. Or going to a gym that inspires you, that makes you feel inspired when you work out there. Life maxing. Right? You can use money to do that. You also can use money to buy back your time. This is the next level of achievement. This is really where you want to get to. Millionaires and billionaires, people who are the most wealthy people in our society, who drive society forward and have the most access to resources. This is where they get. They buy back their time. They use that time that they then purchased, as in they hire assistants, they rent or charter a private jet, those kind of things. They're buying back time. They're using that time then to invest in projects that they actually want to do. I do this in my business. I hire video editors. I hire people to communicate with leads and people that are following me. And that buys back my time, so I don't have to send DMs. I don't have to be editing videos, right? This is how you actually win the game. It's understanding that money does lead to freedom, but you need the money first. You can't do this without the money. You're always going to be trapped if you don't have the money. There's 4 basic rules to the game that you need to understand, okay? The first 2 are here. You ultimately want to get to the point where you're sacrificing less time for money. That's the place you want to get to. And location independence is a bonus, but ultimately it comes down to sacrificing less time for money. And the skill that I'm going to share with you here, the skill that I'm going to break down for you, is actually going to allow you to do that. It's going to allow you to sacrifice much less of your time for money. And location independence then comes as a bonus as a product of that. So this is what happened to me. I got to the point where I wasn't sacrificing almost any time for money. It was very little. I was working around maybe 10 hours a week maximum, and I was making $5,000 a month. That's not a lot of money. And I hadn't gotten my business to the point where it was later, more recently, where I was doing $10,000 to $15,000 per month consistently. And then sometimes $20,000 a month or $25,000 a month, getting to years where you're making multiple 6 figures. But what you need to do is get to the point where you're sacrificing less of your time for money. And the skill that I'm going to share with you here is going to help you get to that, because ultimately you want to be free and you want to not have your time attached for your money, because every single moment you're spending giving up an hour for a check, giving up an hour for $8 or $10 or 15 euros, 20 euros, it doesn't matter. I talk to guys all the time that are dentists. I talk to guys that are lawyers. I talk to guys that are still in the haze and they're getting paid $30 an hour, $100 an hour, but ultimately they don't have freedom, right? When I have worked on sales contracts for different companies that help people achieve freedom, I would talk to people that were doctors, people that worked in finance, people that were making good money, but they had no time to spend with their children because they're sacrificing their time to money. They're just a fucking slave. They're a high-paid slave. Location independence is also a bonus. I live in Budapest, Hungary. I can live anywhere I want, and I still have the ability to make money. I work with US companies, but I can live anywhere because of the skill that I'm going to share with you here. Skill mastery ultimately is going to be your biggest advantage. The first skill that I started out with was dating. I learned how to be very good at dating and understanding women and high-level communication, psychology, seduction, all those things, and I got very good at that, and then I leveraged that skill, that mastery of that skill, into building a business where people paid me to teach them how to do that same skill. So that was my first entry into money. And the way I stopped sacrificing my time for money is I had an online course teaching dating and teaching dating skills with a lot of videos of me meeting girls, a lot of videos of me talking about confidence, a lot of videos of me talking about strategies to set up dates without girls canceling, all those kind of things. And that allowed me to actually make really good money consistently without sacrificing all of my time. That's the first 2 rules to the game. The other 2 rules, rules number 3 and rule number 4, is all money follows from problems being solved, or flows, excuse me. All money flows from problems being solved. All money flows from problems being solved. Now, what's going to happen is you have to understand the problem itself. And that's how you're really going to tap in and play the game the right way, if you understand the problem. So as an example, some people think that it's not the case. They're like, no, people just pay for fun. It's incorrect. It all stems from problems being solved. Sports. People are bored and want to be entertained. That's a problem. What do they do with their time? They come and watch a superstar athlete perform, and then companies then attach onto that problem. Everyone stacks on, and they spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for ads to be placed in the stadium, to be placed on TV commercials, to be placed on players' jerseys and players' uniforms, right? That's the money. The money flows. All money flows from problems being solved. What's the problem for the companies that are paying the teams for their advertisements? Where's the problem there? They need more eyes. They want more market share. They need to make shareholders happy. They need to dominate the market more. They need people thinking at scale. They need people at mass, hundreds of thousands of people thinking about their company. So when there's a little icon on a jersey with an oil company, and you drive past the gas station on the highway, and in your subconscious you saw that company on your favorite team or a team of your competitor on their jersey, it's just a little more hit that's like, this is the gas that I should be getting. And maybe it doesn't affect you, but it affects someone else. There's hundreds of thousands or millions of people seeing the jersey, gonna see the advertisements, right? Think of Nike. Just when you think of the shoe to buy for the gym, for basketball, to play football, to play soccer, whatever you do, it's I should buy Nike because they have the market. But it's because the problem is being solved of attention, and the team allows them to solve that problem. Because the team has all the eyes. Because people want to watch the player. And where does the money end up going? To the player. to the owners, right? Finance, people want security. Why do people in finance make so much money? Because people want security. They want to know if I make a decision about where to put my resources on this green earth, brown, depending on pollution, people want security. They want to know that they're going to provide a better future for their families. They're going to provide a better future for themselves. They're going to provide legacy for their children. And therefore, what do? They give their money to the financial man who plans out how they can use it, what they invest in, what they spend on, how to not pay as many taxes as they're supposed to, how to get over that, which is great. So what happens? They get security. Problem solved, money flows. You have to offer a solution to an in-demand problem. This is what I did, and this is what I still do. This is how I started making hundreds of thousands of dollars, because I offered a solution. Guys wanted relationships. Guys wanted to go on more dates. Guys wanted to feel respected by women. I had the solution to that because I spent fucking 7 years of my life learning how to do that. And I learned how to teach other men how to do that. So I offered a solution to an in-demand problem. Now, with the skill that I'm going to share with you here, which is also what I do, and this is the business I run, this is what I do for other people. I'm going to teach you how to do exactly what I do. I'm going to give it to you for free here, completely for free. So what I'm going to teach you how to do is how to find the solution that actually taps into the game. Because there is one solution that solves a very big problem for a lot of people who have a lot of money. And I learned how to maximize that. And I learned how to tap into it and play the game the right way. And I want you to play the game the right way too. This was me back in 2016 shooting my client videos. So I was onto the game early. I just wasn't doing what I do now, which I'm going to share with you here. I was doing something different. I was teaching dating, which is a problem in itself for a lot of men. But there is more money in other areas besides dating. And dating is fun to teach. I had a great time. And I still teach dating to private clients. But it's no longer my main business. I'm going to teach you how to play the game the right way here. What's the path? What's the path to 100K a year? There we go. Leo, DiCaprio, Mr. Jordan, Belfort, and Wolf of Wall Street. Cheers to you guys. What's the path to making 100K a year? You have to start with primary skill mastery, okay? Primary skill. So there's always going to be a primary skill and then sub-skills. You could, over life, acquire multiple primary skills, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's say that you start off running a construction business. Okay, primary skill you learned is construction. And then you build a business in construction. You get 10 people working with you, doing contracts. You build that to 5, 10 mil a year. Okay, maybe 20 mil. Cool. Then you get bored of construction. You sell the company. You have someone else doing it for you. And then let's say you're age 30 now, and you start learning fighting. You've been doing fighting since you were 25, but you decide you really want to take it seriously, and you go do fighting and train Muay Thai. You're not going to compete. You compete a little bit, but not professionally, because you know that's just not your journey. You have some injuries, but you start teaching it for fun. And you really enjoy teaching it. Your primary skill now, you have the construction business, and you've also acquired a higher skill of just business development overall. Now you have a new skill you've learned, which is understanding how to coach and train Muay Thai. And you get very good. Let's say you've been doing it for 12, 13 years by the time you're in your mid-30s, and you start teaching people. And then you open a Muay Thai gym. What's the primary skill? Running a business. The secondary skill now is you love Muay Thai and fighting and kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. You understand fighting. Now you learn how to coach it. Now you learn how to run a gym. So you see, you start with primary skill mastery. And you, as a young man, you as a man in this world, you need to adopt a primary skill. And I'll share with you what mine is. My primary skill was dating. And it still is one of my primary skills. Dating, success, and understanding dating. Then my primary skill moved into communication and training people and coaching people. That became the primary skill later. Right? And I combine those two things into a business. But your skill needs to be outside of the haze. So people that are normal 9-to-5 employees, 9-to-5 wages, the workers, the worker bees, they're cool. Good people. I love them all. You know, I work with these people myself. I help these people change their lives all the time. But they're inside of the haze. Other people would call it the matrix. I don't want to use that though because it's a dumb fucking word and it's based off of a movie. So it needs to be outside of the haze. You have to be able to see through the clouds, see through the dirt, see through the fog that's covering our society. Your skill set needs to be outside the haze. It needs to be something that is exceptional, something that gives you freedom, something where you're not giving up all of your time sitting at a desk, having your overlord boss tell you what to do. Simple as that. You need to be in a system that's actually going to help you win, a system that's creating rapid change, but that gives you flexibility and freedom. Therefore, the best skill to learn outside of the haze that I found that I use is high ticket closing. And this is a very powerful skill. High ticket closing basically is you're working with business owners who are already making money. So these are coaches, consultants, agencies. They're already making money. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars a month flowing into these companies. They're already making the money. And what happens is they have a specific problem. Remember I told you the money is going to flow where problems are. So if you find the problems, there's the money. If you can find the problem, you're going to make the money. They need to buy back their own time. The companies that I work with as a high ticket closer, in their companies, the problem is the founder of the company and the people that he works with on his team, they don't have the time to be on the phone telling people to invest in their offer, to invest in their program, to invest in the transformation. I help them buy back their time. So I act as that middleman. And because I can buy back their time and help them bring these people into the program and I sell them, high ticket closing is high ticket sales. Because I do that, it allows me to have a lot of leverage. So I work on my own schedule, on my own time. I work a lot of hours on purpose because I want the bread. I want the money. I want to stay making $200,000, $300,000 a year. I want to be there and I want to grow the business. So I work a lot because I'm willing to do that. But you don't need to work a lot to do this. You should if you want to get good. You'll stay broke if you don't fucking work a lot, but you can work on your own schedule on your own time. I do what I want. I close my calendar when I want. I open my calendar when I want. I run 2 other businesses and I make money how I want. This will allow you to work on your own schedule on your own time. High ticket closing is the best skill you could learn because you're working with a business owner who's already making money. You're helping them buy back their own time. So you're solving their problem for them and you're handling their sales process. You're inviting people, you're selling people into this person's program, into their offer, into their software, into their community, into their network, and you're getting paid for that problem that you are solving, for you buying back their time while allowing them to make nearly the same amount of money or more money if you're very good. Here's some of the facts. You have to understand the facts. Money flows where attention goes. Okay, so the money is going to flow from problems. And a lot of times the biggest problems are created or solved when there's a lot of attention. Going back to the ads or going back to the sponsorships on the t-shirt of the football player or the basketball player. What happens there? There's tons of attention on these players. There's tons of attention. So money is going to flow there. There's tons of attention. In markets with finance, there's tons of attention in the market. Money is going to flow there. You have a business owner who has a big Instagram page and a massive email list of 500,000 people. Money's going to flow there. What you need to do if you want to break out of the haze and you want to have freedom and you want to make money on your terms is you have to insert yourself into the flow of the money. This is ultimately the secret. This is the change. You must insert yourself into the flow of the money because you see, most guys will never do this. Most guys are going to be content staying outside of the flow, being in the haze, being all up in the clouds with dust covering everything where they can't see what's going on, and they sit at their desk or they work their normal job and they get limited. 1 hour, you get paid $10. 1 hour, you get paid $15. Oh yeah, you got a raise, you got a little raise. Okay, now you get paid $17 or $32. Went from 28 to 32, $4 increase. And they check in and they check out. That's it. But you don't have control, you don't have freedom. The stuff that I've fucking done, literally making money from Ibiza, because I can. Ibiza is how the Americans call it. Ibiza is what we call it in Europe. Living in Budapest, because I can. It's because I inserted myself into the flow of the money. And I understood the game of attention very well also. Here's the 6-figure closer. So if you're going to be a high-ticket closer, if you want to get into high-ticket sales, here's a couple things you need to understand. Because I learned sales early, I was able to make money outside of the haze because I learned it early. So I didn't start off in high-ticket sales as my job. I started off building a business. And because I built that business and I had to sell people on my programs and on my training, which costed anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000, because of that, I learned how to close sales at a high level. Okay. As a closer, what's going to happen is you're working with a coaching or a consulting business to sell their $5,000 or more offer. So the offers that I sell range anywhere from $7,000 to $21,000. 21 is the highest price. $25,000 depending on how they pay it. So I range from there. and I'm closing deals on that. You make a percentage on each sale that you make. So someone comes to you and they buy because you understood how to solve their problem, give them the offer and bring them into the coaches or the consultants program, into their software, into the agency, into the network, the mastermind, whatever it is, whatever game they're playing, whatever the solution is. You make a percentage on that sale of 10 to 15% normally, sometimes 20, sometimes 8, sometimes 25, depending on how much leverage you have, right? And as the closer, you're the most important piece in the business. You have a lot of leverage as a closer. You're the most important piece, and I'm not saying that lightly. When you're good, if you're not good, you're going to get fired, you're going to get cut. Done. You're moving on. But you have a lot of freedom if you are a good closer. It gives you a lot of leverage. I have leverage. I have leverage to work when I want, the hours I want. I have leverage to get paid how I want. Okay, this is the six-figure closer. And this is the important part for you to understand. As a closer, you're not getting paid an hourly wage, which is great. You're getting paid for a skill, which means your skill is outside of the haze, right? Because here's what's interesting. People who are stuck in the haze, people who are stuck in the clouds, people who are stuck in the dust, people who are stuck in the muck, they're always getting paid hourly because they just show up, they keep their head down and they do the job and they go home. That's what happens. Those are the people who really get stuck in the haze, and their children are in the haze, their grandchildren, they live a legacy of this until someone breaks the fucking chain. Luckily for me, my father broke this chain. My dad was the one who showed me all of this, who got me out of the haze. And I never really was in it because my father set an example for our family that we can do anything we want. So we're all out of that. But you're not getting paid an hourly wage as a high-ticket closer. You're getting paid for a skill. Anytime you're being paid for a skill specifically that gives you freedom, you're haze-proof. And now the more business you get into, the more you take charge of how you make money with that skill, the more haze-proof you're going to be. And the more you're going to be outside of the haze and have freedom, actually, right? So you're getting paid for a skill. It's important to understand that. The industry is booming with opportunities. Like every single day, there's opportunities in different closing situations thrown at me constantly. It's insane. There's constant opportunities. Some of them are shit opportunities, and some of them are great opportunities. But ultimately, here is the key. This is ultimately what matters. It's an online-based ecosystem, so it's not going away. When I work with people who want to be closers or help people understand how this works, they think like, oh, okay, when is it going to crash? As long as the internet exists, which I think will happen for some more time, it's going to exist to this industry because there's always going to be people solving problems. Forget like the companies themselves. There's always going to be problems. People are going to want to lose weight. They're going to want to make more money. They're going to want to date that girl. They're going to want to build their business. Again, making more money. They're going to want to spend more time with their partner, solving relationship problems. All these things are going to happen. It's an online-based ecosystem. It's not going to go away. As long as the internet's there, all these problems still exist, always, as long as humans are here, and we have a functioning society. And then as long as the internet is there, there's going to be a medium and opportunities for people to help people with these transformations. But the disclaimer ultimately comes down to this, and don't even watch past this. If you've made it this far, don't watch more. Because if this is not for you, if you can't sit with this disclaimer that I'm going to share with you here, then this video isn't for you. I want to be really clear on that. You have to work your ass off. You can't get to 100K by doing nothing. It doesn't work that way. This is not some passive income stream. You make passive income once you built your business and you're making consistent six figures. Then think about doing passive income, sure. But before that, the solution is not make passive income and income drips in when I don't do work. It doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. That's not reality. You have to work your ass off. You can't get to 100K by doing nothing. You must work. You must grind. You must go through fire to work your ass off. But the results will be worth it because you have freedom. You have ultimate freedom. Working hard doesn't mean you don't have freedom because everyone's going to work hard. Would you rather just work 8 to 10 hours a day doing something that's going to let you live where you want, make the money you want for the next 10, 15, 30, 60 years? Or would you rather work at a place 8 to 10 hours, the same fucking 8 to 10 hours that the other guy's doing? Would you rather work in that place and be in the same position 10 years later with getting paid $10 more per hour with a raise, still with your angry boss yelling at you in your 15 vacation days? What do you prefer? Ultimately, that's the question. And ultimately, that's the decision you have to make. And that's a simple yes or no. Which one do you prefer? Is that okay for you to do that? And if it's a no, if that's not okay for you, well, then you're going to have to work your ass off, but you're going to have to work your ass off to get to the freedom ultimately, because everyone's going to have to work. If you want to get into closing, here are the next steps. Here's what I'd suggest. And like I said, I have nothing to sell you, nothing to offer you. You can chat with me if you want about this and we'll talk, but I have nothing to offer you specifically. But here are some next steps. Number one, read 3 books. There are 3 books you absolutely must read. Influence by Robert P. Cialdini. Read that book. It's really powerful. And it explains the basics of how people make decisions about saying yes to something and how you can influence people to get to a certain decision. Okay, that's the first book you need to read. I love this book and it was very powerful for my life. Second, you need to read $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. And I want to be clear, this is not like some optional reading. It's not like you may want to check these out. If you want to get into closing and you haven't been in closing before, you're going to be destroyed if you're not good. It's not going to work for you if you're good. So it's a skill you have to get good at. And then the skill will give you maximum freedom. But you have to start somewhere. So read Influence by Robert P. Cialdini. Read $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. This will explain to you the basics of how problem-solving offers work and what a good offer looks like. This book helps me build my business. This book has helped me make a lot of money. And I suggest, I demand, if you're going to listen to me, then you read this book. And you want to get into closing, you must read this book. Number 3, read The New Model of Selling by Jeremy Miner. This book explains to you how sales works nowadays. Because sales is not the classic old 70s sleazy sales tactics. It's very conversational based. It's very based on psychology. And Jeremy Miner, who's a founder and a pillar in this high ticket sales industry, he talks about this. And he says this in his book, and you need to read it so you understand what you're getting yourself into. Then watch Bill Walsh, The Objection Box. Bill Walsh is my mentor. If you type in Bill Walsh Sales on YouTube, you'll see this red-bearded Irish guy who's pretty funny and a little bit aggressive and pretty cheeky and pretty out there and will say outlandish stuff. That is who you need to watch. He's my mentor. I'm in his program. He helps me with my sales, so you should look at his stuff at least before you invest in anything or spend money on learning sales. Just look at the free stuff. Join the Facebook group from Bill Walsh. Tell them I sent you. Say, Tim Ray brought me here, and that'll be awesome for me. Watch that. And then what you do is once you watch and understand how sales works and you're ready to begin after you get sales, you're like, okay, I actually know how this works now. I see how it works. You're going to be scared, but you don't need to be the best salesman ever to start making money and to start learning it at least. You're going to fail first, but you get better. Then what you do is you DM 10 coaches a day so you can get hired. Ultimately, the goal is we want you to make money. I want you to make some money. So DM 10 coaches a day. You don't need to start off doing the closing. You don't need to start off doing the direct sales. You can start off doing the appointment setting, which means making the appointments for the business instead of always just doing the selling over Zoom. That's a bit harder, but you can make money as a setter first. So what you can do is send a message to 10 coaches a day. Your profile has to look good. I'll make a video on that later. I'll make another training on how to build a good profile to actually make money online. But your profile can't be shit. It can't be like a weird mirror selfies and fucking anime pictures and Pokemon cards. It can't be that. It has to look like you're a fucking G, or they're not going to respect you. My profile looks like this. So most of the DMs I send, maybe not most, but 30 to 40%, I've tracked the numbers. 30% of the DMs I send to 40% on a good week, they all get responses. People are responding to me. I don't get flaked on. So, and I'm talking about conversations for making money, actually. Conversations with people I want to work with. So you have to have a good profile, but you can start as a setter. Here's the way you could send it. Let's pretend you're messaging me. Tim, could you use a highly qualified setter who comes from the Alex Hormozi model? One of these authors. Use these names. Not Robert P. Cialdini because he doesn't do sales, but Alex Hormozi or Jeremy Miner. Or some sales program. You could say the Bill Walsh model. If you've studied, you have to know the model, though. You can't just throw out a random name and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or you're going to waste your time and someone else's time, and they're going to immediately know when you're full of shit. So you have to pick someone who you've studied, who you've learned from. So Tim could use a highly qualified setter who comes from the Jeremy Miner model and understands, and now whatever person's industry you're DMing, so let's say this person's a fitness coach and understands the weight loss industry really well. Okay, that's the message. Or let's say that you're messaging a dating coach and understands the men's dating industry really well. This message needs to be true. It has to be honest. You can't bullshit. You have to know the industry. So even doesn't mean you need to know everything, but you need to do a little bit of research, know what you're getting into. Send this message to 10 coaches a day, and you're going to start getting responses. In a week, if you send 100 of these, let's say, or 50 of these, and let's say over 5 days you send 50, you should be able to get 2 to 3 responses going in conversations. From there, I'd respond with audio messages. I would send an audio to the person, say, awesome. Would you like me to send you over some examples of what I can do? and see if it's a good fit or send you a resume. They really don't care about resumes so much in this industry. They care more about experience and or time if you have the work ethic. And then what you do is you kill it on the interviews. You get to the interview and you kill it. You don't fuck up the interview because then you won't get hired. But if you kill the interview, you'll get a job. You'll get placed. And it'll be really good for you. This is it. If you want more on this, if you want to learn more about how to do this and just have a conversation about it, I can guide you through it and I'll coach you, actually. No worries about buying anything because I have nothing to sell you at all. I run a dating business where I teach men dating and relationships. I do private consulting there. And then I work as a closer for 2 companies and I help them build their sales process. So I 1.5 companies, technically, for being technical. So I have nothing to sell you on this. Just use it. Make some money. If you have questions about it, feel free to DM me. Read these books. Watch Bill Walsh. If you join this Facebook group, which I suggest you do, look into, tell them I sent you. And then I'll see you inside that program and you can connect with me there when you actually, invest in some training with the man himself, Bill. And start DMing coaches so you can get hired and make sure you kill your interviews. Don't start as a closer if you've never closed before, but start as a setter. And learning setting will get you into closing way easier. Peace! Wake up and stay out of the haze.